we allowed on the internet?
Yeah, we're totally
Of course.
live.
All right.
Are we live?
Guys, we're on.
We're on.
Oh, hi, internet.
Hey, welcome to Drinkshares Last Call, the show where we are constantly under construction.
Hey.
I'm your host, Christine Brennicke, and I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves, including our guest today, with a secret question. Tonight's secret question is, if we were all to meet at a bar for the first time, how would you introduce yourself?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Elena, would you like to take it?
Sure. With hugs.
Oh.
I would introduce myself with hugs.
And let us know your full name.
Oh, Elena Mae Darcy. That's my name. I'm the person. Yeah, that's the thing that I am. Hi, guys. I'm new to this. No, but yes, I'm Elena Mae Darcy. I'm the author of There the Last, and I would greet people with hugs because I like hugs. Hugs are great.
It's lovely. Becky.
Okay, so the question was, if I was greeting someone in a bar,
Yeah, let's say we didn't know each other and we met at a bar. How would you introduce yourself?
I would probably challenge you guys to a game of pool or darts, because I'm competitive, and it's an icebreaker. So, for those of you who don't know me, I am Rebecca S. Lieber. I am the author of Proxy, which is a draft available on Drinkshares right now. You can also find me at Rebecca S. Lieber on Twitter. We are also getting ready to have a really cool event later on in this week that I will be promoting myself on. So I'll save that for later in the episode before we leave, because tonight is all about Miss Elena Mae Darcy over here.
Yay.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being had.
Thanks for putting up with us for an hour and a half.
That sounds like I'm being swindled.
You don't know, do you?
This is Drinkshares. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
Sure. How about Kara or Joe?
One. Me? All right, there it is.
Hi, Joe.
So
Joe.
is this you're meeting strangers at a bar, or I'm just meeting you guys at a bar?
Strangers.
That
That might look like us.
So, but we've never met. The context is
we've
like
never
we've
met.
never met.
Yeah.
Drinkshares
You
in
should
this
have made
timeline.
us do it, like, actually introduce ourselves.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, do that.
As though we
We can
as
do
though
half
we
of
were
us
trying
doing
to
it.
find
Here, Joe.
this
Let me
group of
set the
attractive
scene.
strangers.
Joe, you walk into a bar. You see three illustrious ladies standing at the bar, and your first thought is, "Ooh, who are these ladies?"
I wouldn't think
sorry.
that. I wouldn't think that because I'm married.
Okay, there are three of you guys, and I'm hiding in the bathroom because I'm.
Lou Dee, you're sitting at a table.
I would walk in. I'd be like, "Oh, these ladies look like they'd love to have a conversation about books and writing."
Sale, wrong, in a bar. We don't. What you reading for, Joe?
We might.
Yeah, I mean,
drink and read.
I introduced myself with humor is a great icebreaker, so it would be a joke of some sort, like I just did. It's meta.
That's not what it is.
Not at all. Yeah.
Cue the Inception noise.
Yeah.
Uh,
Kara.
All right, and as for me, Joe, you introduced yourself, right?
Yes.
Yourself.
I'm Joe. People know me.
You know who you are.
We get new people all the time, Joe.
Well, here I'll
This
click.
is like the Cheers bar. Everybody already knows your name.
Yeah.
Joe.
Joe, author of Lost Generation. Check out Lower Third if you get confused.
Does that make me Carla?
All right, well. I don't know. I don't remember watching.
Between my feistiness and my shortness, I'm pretty sure I'm Carla.
Are you really short in real life?
I am 5 foot.
She's
Yeah,
really
5
short.
foot. It's gonna blow
You
Kara's
be
mind.
tall.
She's a shorty pants.
Oh
Can't
yeah,
wait to meet her in
Kara's
person.
gonna see me on Thursday, and she's
Yeah?
not even. She's gonna look over my head looking for me. Is what's gonna happen. She's like,
No, I
oh,
know you're short. I have a lot of short friends. I stand up for them, you know.
Hey.
You reach things on shelves.
Yeah. I reach things for them.
I'm so short that I had a student who was taking a woodshop class make me a footstool with my name on it so I could reach the top of the board when I was writing it.
That's precious, though.
It was, and I made him sign it so I can keep it forever. But that, yes, I'm very short.
All right, back on topic. I would not introduce myself in a bar because that sounds like a horrible nightmare situation.
Kara telling it like it is.
But I mean, if I had to, I've had to before, so I don't know. You say what you always say. Why? One time though, I was talking to some friends because I was at a band gig of Alex's. He's a bandit, so we were at a bar and I was talking to people I didn't know who knew some of his bandmates, and I was telling them about my book, and I said, my book is really strong in the female gaze.
Oh no!
I'm assuming they did not think you meant the G-A-D-E.
She was like, okay. I don't think they like to be referred to that way. No, G-A-Z-E. Like, as opposed to the male gaze.
I literally...
Gaze. But, yeah, she just thought I meant, like, lesbians.
I had a women's studies class at one point in college, and I had a really good friend in the class, and, you know, our teacher, she would talk a lot. She'd be like, yes, you know, the male gaze. Like, she would just talk about that. And it took at least 4 classes until the one day he was, like, looking at something in our textbook, and he's like, wait, I thought you were talking about gay dudes this whole time. No.
See, you can't talk like that. You just can't say female gaze and male gaze. People think you're talking about gays.
You have to type it.
He was so funny. Yeah, you got to do it.
You can't say it.
It's one of the few things where saying it on the internet will be better.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm the author of She's the End, to be released from Drinkshares this fall.
Yay!
Woo.
And,
your book was the first book that I got on Drinkshares.
Mine?
Uh-huh.
Really? Oh, thanks.
did you just point to yourself?
Who, this girl?
Very cute. All right, to wrap it up, I'm Christine Brunke, author of 7 Shards, and I would probably just start dancing with you at a bar.
That sounds like a party.
That works.
Party parrots?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could join our dance circle. I could be dancing. That doesn't work for me.
This is my party parrot.
Do that.
I love your party parrot is excellent.
All right, so let's go in the same order. What are you drinking? What are you reading tonight?
Oh, same order. So that's me first. Okay.
Yep.
So I just finished reading this really, really good book called Shatter Me by, I think it's Tyra. I can never say it right. Mafi, and it was really good. But now I'm actually reading an Drinkshares book, this one. It's really good, and I'm really, really surprised by how, like, amazingly, wonderfully good it is, and it makes me really excited for Rogue One, because Gary Whitta, who wrote that book, also wrote the upcoming Star Wars movie, and so I feel like we're in good hands if his writing for the book is as good as it is for the screen. And I actually have a surprise drink that I haven't told any of the hosts about yet, but it's related to my book. I found a beer that has the same name as one of my characters, Bex.
Yay!
So,
Oh.
I have no idea if it's even going to be good or not, but we'll see. And then when that's over, I have cider. Very yummy cider.
I support beers that are named after me, so.
It is. Yeah, that's...
It's not spelled right, but...
No, because my character named Rebecca, it's Rebeca.
Oh, okay. That's like I think that's the Latin spelling of it, like what you'd see in like Spanish and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So mine is actually the like Eastern, like German, Greek kind of Eastern European version of it. So.
Yeah, the character's from Brazil, so
that makes sense. Yeah.
So I'm glad that you said that without me even needing to. That's kind of fitting. I have no idea if this beer is going to be good, but we're going to find out in a second. So, carry on.
All right. So is Becky next?
Yes. Right? So I kind of about 20 minutes ago came up with a brilliant drink concept for tonight's show, which kind of like is half themed Harry Potter, if you can't tell from my mole person glasses and my scarf and hat and my necklace and all my other like accessories. But Elena is going to be sorting us later, and I know that Elena self-identifies as a Hufflepuff. So I decided with the ingredients
Age
I
of the
had left
Hufflepuff.
over. Yeah. So I have orange juice, which is yellow,
Ooh.
which is the Hufflepuff color. And I call this drink Kill the Spare. And I also have some cherry liqueur. So
Ooh, magic.
This is the one I told you about. Yes. I recently told you about a drink called a Dead Hufflepuff that's made by a really awesome bartender who goes to conventions, and that is an awesome version of
and
it.
I labeled my straw the magic wand, so it was
Oh
like
my
I was literally
goodness.
killing Cedric Diggory.
Oh my god.
You're such a nerd.
That's
So
messed up.
visceral.
Oh, I'm super messed up. I
My
wonder why
Hufflepuff heart wasn't ready.
And Becky
Wow.
tries to deny that she's
I'm embracing it. I'm embracing it. At least I got 66% Ravenclaw and Slytherin together. It's not totally. I'm not totally evil, but right now,
Even if you're not
ironically,
Slytherin, you're
Slytherins
not
are
evil.
I know. It's just
Some of
it's
the
hard.
fluffiest
okay?
people I know who are just so delightful and nice are Slytherins. So.
Well, the book I'm currently reading is kind of ironic because I'm also reading a book about wizards named Harry because I'm on Proven Guilty of the Harry Dresden series. So I'm slowly making my way through that entire series right now. So
I
but
want
I
to
just,
read that series. That's on my
we
list.
are aware that
it's
we are
a
totally-
fun read. It's not a challenging read by any means. I liked his high fantasy series that he did too, that Jim Butcher did, and it's set in a world that's kind of based on Rome, but like way in the future. Like there's some thing where they've all been reverted back to like ancient times, and people have elemental magics, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know, probably about 3/4 of the way through Proven Guilty, and then I'm probably gonna make a new trip to the library this week and see what's on their new rack for reading.
That sounds pretty nifty.
Mm-hmm. Kara.
Me?
No,
Yeah.
Joe.
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. Jumped the gun.
We're all gonna get all mixed up.
I thought Kara was up. I'm sorry.
I
It's okay.
I am reading. Oh, let me like bring it down here. Let me set this up for dramatic effect.
I'm gonna take these off now. It's actually really messing with my eyesight.
Hey.
Oh, yay!
So I got I got Trekonomics, which is real good. If you haven't heard of it, it's a book, an Inkshares book that was written that covers the economics of Star Trek. You couldn't tell from the name.
It's a great title.
It's real good. And you don't have to just like economics to like it. If you like Star Trek or if you just like interesting, like, hard to say, interesting world stuff and how things work, it's a good read. I really enjoy it. Even though it's a
That's
book
awesome.
about economics, I'm like, when I have some free time, I'm like opening it up to read another chapter. So it definitely keeps you interested.
Well, the only thing that I could imagine that would make economics interesting would be Star Trek. So, and that's coming from a social studies teacher.
Yeah, and then I'm just drinking tea tonight because my kidneys, but I made it really pretty. So,
Beautiful.
so it's got like a nice little, like, it's got some lemons on it. It's got a little thing. I got a metal straw that Brenda bought. So like we've got these rad metal straws. So
Is that iced tea or hot tea?
it's hot tea, and it's like kind of burning. Like it's fine now, but I like almost like didn't bring it, like get it to the table. It's like kind of burning my hands right now, so I can't
So-
drink it yet.
Put it down.
Did you immediately regret the metal straw in drinking
No.
hot tea there?
No,
Okay.
it's gonna cool down. But I was concerned about at some point because it's still hot, and you know how like when things are hot and then you don't know when is the right time to take a sip of it. Where like, is this going to burn my tongue or not? So I have
Yeah.
to gamble.
You
I'm
keep testing it, and then
gonna gamble that at some point during this show, and it's gonna be like, is Joe gonna burn his tongue live on Drinkshares or
Oh
not?
no!
take your
Don't
best
do
now.
that, Joe.
It feels hot. It still feels pretty hot, so I'm gonna try to be judicious with my tea drinking. But and I'm gonna throw
Have a
these.
spoon. You can
I put
ladle
these
it.
lemons inside of it now. That I showed it off and it looked cool, so I'm gonna mix these lemons in here. And it's a pumpkin spice black tea, so I'll be all wired up.
There you go.
That sounds really cool.
It's really
Sounds
good.
super gross.
It's delicious.
Not a pumpkin spice fan unless it's in pie.
Well, you know,
Gross.
it's nice. I like it. So that's what I got going on.
Delish.
All right, well, I am drinking peach tea. Cold. And I just finished reading, beta reading Dax Harrison.
Oh,
Tony Valdez.
that's the second book I bought on Inkshares.
And
Look at your memory. So
I haven't
good.
given him my comments back yet, so I feel like I shouldn't tell you guys what I thought about it. And also, it wasn't in its final form.
If he didn't want it to be your thoughts to be spoiled, he should be watching the stream.
Well, I keep telling
Tony.
him I'll finish up typing them up because I hand wrote because I printed it out and wrote right on the manuscript. And so now I'm typing everything up, and I keep telling him, I'll get it to you, and I haven't yet. But it's coming soon, Tony, I promise. In the meantime, I have overall very positive reaction. It's pretty fun.
That's good.
Especially once it gets into the real action. It's a pretty fun book. I will end up recommending it, especially if he makes the changes that I tell him he needs to make.
Oh.
Then I will extra super recommend it.
Something to look forward to then, because I'm pretty sure that was, if not the second, one of the first books that I ordered too.
Yeah, it's very much a just fun space adventure.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm drinking and what I'm reading.
Okay. So for me, since all of my co-hosts drank tea last time, and I did not, I'm drinking tea this time. So I've got a little teapot
Oh, it's so cute.
with some peppermint tea and lots of honey.
Aw.
And then I am reading The Last Unicorn, which I am years late to getting to. But now I'm reading it.
I've never read the book.
Who's that
but
by?
the movie is like a staple of my
Peter S.
childhood.
Siegel. I never saw the movie either.
Oh, that makes me so
I
sad.
hear a lot of trauma about the movie.
Oh yeah, totally terrifying, but
Traumatic.
also completely amazing.
What year did that come out? I feel like I narrowly missed it or something.
Sometime in the 80s, but my mom got my sister and I a lot of weird 80s movies.
See, I want to say that
Oh
last
yeah,
year,
you're a youth.
I want to say that Unicorn was like right around that time period when you had like Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal and all
Yeah,
of those.
I loved those too. Dark Crystal was my jam.
Yeah, probably relatively around like Princess Bride too, I would imagine.
Maybe it just wasn't at my
It was early
blockbuster
though.
or something.
I really think it was like early. There's a piece of me that almost thinks it was like late 70s.
Well, we live in the time of the magical
Yeah,
internet.
We do. I need to know.
We will find out.
1982.
82. Okay.
Okay.
I knew it was early at least. Yeah. Yeah, that movie was 8 years old by the time I existed.
Yeah, Labyrinth came out in 86, and then Dark Crystal
Was that earlier than the Labyrinth?
was 82. So Last Unicorn and Dark Crystal came out together. What was the one with the big dog?
Never-ending
The
story.
Never-Ending Story. I'm typing the Never-Ending Story right now.
There are so okay.
Chat.
Now that I look at it, there were so many crazy 80s fantasy movies involving
They were
children.
phenomenal.
They were
movies.
awesome.
You know why
Nice.
that movie
Oh my God.
traumatized me? You should know why the Never-Ending Story traumatized me.
Why?
The wolf.
Because, well, yes,
Whatever it
that's
is
scary, and also the Nothing, just like
Oh yeah.
I thought
evil
wasn't the nothing in the second one?
encompassing- Well, okay, maybe. I don't know.
No.
I only ever
No,
watched the
the first
second
one. That was
one
the first
over
one.
and over and over.
It was the first one. But
I think I
no,
watched the second one a lot as a
The
kid, but I don't
horse.
remember. Yeah, the horse is in the first one.
the horse.
Oh.
How can you do that to
The
me?
horse.
I am a child.
Oh my God, what was the horse's
I'm a
name?
child.
Artax.
Atreyu. No.
Artax.
Oh, the kid is a tree.
Yeah, Atreyu was the kid. Artax was the
Mhm.
horse.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Aw.
Trauma.
Like those movies are all older than me, but like they were my childhood.
It's true.
You guys mentioned Princess Bride, and guys,
yeah.
I just found out that William Goldman is still alive. And I'm
Really?
in my book.
Do it.
Do
I'm
it,
so excited.
seriously.
You have no idea how many times I've gone back to The Princess Bride and read and reread the best scenes from it because it's so good. So
That's another
good.
one where I haven't read the book, but I've seen.
Oh
the
my
movie.
gosh. It's so funny, and it's so meta. He does such a good job of the meta stuff.
Ken in the chat says nothing is in the first one, which really makes me question like which movie I watched when as a kid. So now I have to like double check everything.
I know I think I saw the first one once, but I watched the second one probably a million times because I don't know if it was our Blockbuster or the library, but whichever one only had the second movie and not the first movie.
Now I'm discovering that there was a Never-Ending Story 3.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Is it anything like the multiple Little Mermaids that just
or like the second?
Yeah, there was a TV show of the Little Mermaid too.
I did watch that. I watched that and the Aladdin TV show because those were my favorite Disney movies growing up.
Oh, I didn't know there was an Aladdin TV.
It used to be on the Disney Channel.
I was late to getting cable growing up, so
I only had it at my grandma's house because my grandma had a satellite when I was a kid, but we didn't, so I could watch it at my grandma's and she babysat us. So I got to watch it after school, right after Bill Nye the Science Guy, because I watched my PBS first and then I watched my Disney.
Hey, guys, I can't remember. Do we have a writing topic tonight?
We do. We do.
Or we'll
get to it.
But
tell you about our childhood.
Before we get to our writing topic,
we have 7 minutes before we're late to getting to the topic.
Okay. We have 7 minutes.
Just making sure. Because these things all influence us as creative people. So, it's a valid topic. I just couldn't
really valid.
Yeah, so much of that fantasy stuff, like, just embedded itself into my brain as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I watched a lot of sci-fi as a kid. Because my dad had a lot of sci-fi movies.
Mm-hmm.
So we would just watch, like, all these VHS tapes. I've seen Stargate probably, I don't know, 30 times, 40 times.
Stargate is, like, the one that I've just never seen. Like...
You should watch Stargate.
Yeah, I never, like, avoided it. I just also never saw it.
It's a pretty darn good movie. Have you seen Atlantis, the animated one?
Actually, it's so funny because earlier when you said that Becky with the glasses when she looked like a mole person, I thought of Mole from that movie.
I that too because I love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh? But anyway, it's exactly the same plot. They have the same plot.
Yeah, my dad watched a lot of sci-fi movies growing up too, and like movies I remember watching a lot with my dad, which is going to explain so much about why I am the way I am today. My dad and I watched The Third Evil Dead. What was it called? Army of Darkness a lot. That was one of our movies. And then I remember my dad really liked, what was the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? Total Recall.
Predator?
Which, you guys want to talk about movies that as a child fucked you up? Like the guy with the guy in his stomach? And the part where their eyes bug out at the end?
The part where their eyes bug out.
That was Yeah, that definitely.
Because it was like cheesy 80s eye bugging.
When Total Recall was on TV when I was a kid, I would always hide in the other room in the eye bug out part.
I hated that part.
Because it freaked me out.
Yeah.
The guy in like the chest didn't bother me any.
Wait, this one is a really random one. It's really obscure, but it was like my sister and I's weird favorite movie. Did you guys ever see? It's an anime. It was called Unico. Did you guys ever see that?
No.
Oh my god. I will find someone one day who has seen this. I will. It's my life's mission. It was this weird,
I'm sure
like...
someone in the chat's gonna...
I hope so.
Find them and then
oh my gosh, person in the chat, if you've seen
Unico,
let's be besties. Because I've just... Oh my gosh.
That's how you're going to find your SO, significant other.
No, I'm convinced it's going to be like... at a con. I'm so convinced. I'm just going to walk up to a con wearing my Hufflepuff scarf, and I'm going to look across the room, and they're also going to be wearing a Hufflepuff scarf, and then, like, cheesy music will begin.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's going to be.
You heard it on
planned it. All right, so let's get on to our main topic. We're talking about social storytelling tonight because we live in the internet age, and that means that writing doesn't have to be an isolated event anymore. And we've got Elena Mae Darcy here because she does a lot of different things that can be lumped into social storytelling. So, Elena, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of that stuff?
Okay. So, other than the Drinkshares is actually, I still feel like I'm new to it, even though I've been around since February now. Sorry, getting over Allergies kicking my butt. But yeah, so I've been on Inkshares, and which anybody that's on there knows is a very social platform. Like, you can't get pre-orders if you don't connect with people, and a lot of that happens online. But in addition to that, I've also worked for the Harry Potter fan site MuggleNet.com for the last couple years now, which is surreal, because I was on that website when I was about like 11 or 12, and it was the only place I could go where other people were nerds. And it's just kind of really nice. Like, it's a total childhood dream to like be working for them now. And I started out just kind of doing their fan of the week sections. Then I did just social media stuff, and now I do social media. And I'm one of the co-producers of the podcast they have called Speak Beastie, which is a podcast about fantastic beasts and where to find them, which has not come out yet. So I run a podcast about something that doesn't exist yet. It's good times. But yeah, we have like different theories and discussions each week, every other week. You guys can find that on MuggleNet. It's super fun. I was on episode 11, which was called Hamel Squatch, which is really as weird as it sounds. But yeah, and then I also do National Novel Writing Month, which I've been doing, oh goodness, this will be my 13th year doing NaNoWriMo. And
that's
it's
a lot of...
Yeah, I've been doing it.
13th year?
Yeah.
Started.
I was 14 the first year I did it.
Oh my god.
And I finished it that year. So, yeah.
What was that book about?
It was actually a prequel to the book I'm writing right now.
Wow.
So, yeah, the idea, so They Are the Last, which is my book that's on Inkshares currently, we're funding, and we end in November 1st. That book is actually, it's going to hopefully be the first book I ever published, but it's also the first book I ever came up with when I was 13. And when I was coming up with that story, I then heard about National Novel Writing Month, which is a challenge you do in November where you try to write 50,000 words in a single month. And the catch to it is, though, you have to start something that you haven't written before. It's got to be totally new. So I was like, oh, well, I've been working on this They Are the Last book for the last few months. I need something new. I'll write a prequel. And so I wrote a prequel that takes place on the moon of the planet that my book is set on. And it was really fun. And I still have like the full manuscript, and something might happen to it one day. But yeah, so I've just been doing it ever since. I think the only year that I didn't even attempt it was 2012, because I was a senior in college and doing a thesis project and being an RA, and it was just not a thing. But I've at least attempted it every other year, but I've only won, I think I've won 6 times out of 12. So
that's insane. You're insane.
Thank you. I like
Oh my god.
It's fun. But
I'm very impressed. I didn't know these things about you, and I'm very impressed.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's just NaNoWriMo. It's like November like means nothing else to me. People are like, I'm so excited for Thanksgiving, and I'm like, you mean NaNoWriMo? Because that's just my life at this point. I'm actually wearing a NaNoWriMo shirt.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, it says it says 30 days, 50,000 words, 0 excuses.
Ooh,
So
nice.
I really like this shirt.
I have a lot of excuses, actually.
So I actually followed Elena on Twitter before Inkshares, or before I joined Inkshares, I think.
Wait, what?
Because she is the municipal liaison for
know
the Philadelphia
that.
area. Yeah, when I went to go follow you from finding you on Inkshares, I was like, oh, I already follow her.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
love
so I
that.
think you're probably the first person on Inkshares that I've followed officially,
That's-
even though
that's
you weren't
great.
on it yet.
Accidentally officially followed.
That's so delightful. Yeah, because NaNoWriMo. So I didn't mention this bit, but Christine kind of did. So I did it for years and years and years and years, and then this past year was actually the first year that I became a municipal liaison. So I'm one of the people that organizes the local writing events for Philadelphia. Philly, what? I'm very proud of being a Philadelphian. And so basically we just do writing events, and I also occasionally run word sprints on the official Nano Word Sprints account, which is really fun. If anyone's ever done that and you've seen someone posting about a Nano House Cup, that's my fault. So you're welcome.
Speaking of word sprints, were you thinking about doing some of those the week of draft shares?
Yeah. Sure.
That
I
could
had
be
heard
such a fun activity, I think.
Yeah, I think that would be cool too.
I would love
especially-
to. Yeah.
especially since everybody's drafting.
Mhm.
So I think that's a really great way to bring people together.
Yeah, the word sprints, they're really fun because I hadn't done them. The first year that I ever participated in them was in, oh goodness, it was Nano 2015. No, 2014. And they were like what fueled me through Nano. Like I'd never done them before, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's this word sprint thing. What's that? And I started doing them, and I really don't think I would have won in 2014 if I hadn't done that. And so then 2015, when I became an ML, I was like, oh, I wonder if they're looking for people. And I messaged and was like, hey, person in charge of this, can I do the thing? And she's like, well, we usually don't let first years do it, but sure. And I did the thing, so it was fun. And I did that just this past April, and I will be doing them again in July. So if anybody wants to know what my word sprints are like, I will be doing those in July and November.
You have lots of memes and GIFs. I can say
I
that.
do. I always use lots of, because they're so much more fun. Like, people don't want to just hear sometimes like, oh, you should just write. They want to have Dean Winchester tell them that they should write. And so I find that that's encouraging.
I think my July Camp Nano will be much more successful than my April one because of extenuating circumstances with job and things like that. So because with having the summer off, it'll be nice to actually just have daily time to put towards work. Even though I got 30,000 words, I'm not upset with that. It's just I really wanted to get this book done.
Yeah, I got 35. I was trying to do my second draft, but I actually just this past week decided like that 35,000 that I was working on, I was like, you need to go over here and just, you were a nice writing exercise, but you're not the draft. And it's not the first time I've done that. Sometimes I'll write like ridiculously huge chunks and then be like, okay, I have to completely start over.
That was my problem, is it was the first time it forced me to sit down for any long period of time and commit that many words to paper in such a short span of time that a lot of what I had previously written I had to set aside because the stuff I was writing I liked better, or I was coming up with new ideas that didn't mesh with what I had previously written, or I was getting rid of weak stuff. And so that's part of the reason I didn't finish either, is because some of it ended up just being not editing but replacing other stuff with new material.
Yeah, I wonder how many people do that, because I definitely, the draft that I am going to put forth to Inkshares, my manuscript, is not the first version of this book. I had a whole other version, the one that I originally started when I was a teenager, and it was first person, and it was very bad. It was not good.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish my first...
I restarted all of it, and it's much, much better, and I'm glad I did.
I wouldn't wish my first draft on anybody, because I'm on like my 6th draft.
Yeah, I have a fun thing to show you guys. I made full use of, so NaNoWriMo has like perks that you can get if you've like won, if you hit the word goal, and one of the ones they had this year was that you can get a free paperback copy of your book.
What? Really?
Yep.
I should try and win that sometime.
That was a new prize, right?
Yeah, it just is reflecting you guys. It's a very reflective cover, but that's my first draft. That's my book.
It must
Oh
be
my gosh, flip through it. Show us the words. I want to see. That's so cool. Look at that.
There was the paper in it. There was a bookmark from the library in it.
Who does the formatting for it?
They have like a template that you use. So like this is like, oh, the title page makes me so happy.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's called Fast
that.
Pencil. It's pretty nice. It took a long time for it to ship, but it gives me emotions a lot of the time.
I would have emotions too.
Yeah, so I carry it around. My guerrilla marketing tactic is I go into a Starbucks and I sit this on the table and I have a little sign that I made that says "Ask me about this book" with an arrow pointing to the book.
That's awesome.
I've had like 2 people come up and ask me and take a flyer, but they didn't pre-order because
Yet.
Well, that was just the first time they were exposed to it.
Yeah.
They probably need a few more exposures before they...
Oh, you have to see something like 3 times. Isn't that the...
Oh, I think it's actually 8.
It's up. Yeah, it's up now because of all the marketing that we're exposed to.
Yeah. Well, I think the old school marketing rule was like 6 or 7, but with the internet, they've been increasing that number.
Yeah, which is why, incidentally, traditional publishers no longer bother to invest that much money into marketing new authors because they don't see the return on their marketing investment anymore. It's not enough to sell copies of books, which is why It's so much harder for new authors
Oh.
to succeed with the little marketing that's done for their first book.
Especially if they're self-publishing.
Which is why it's great to find other venues to publish your book through, like Drinkshares.
Drinkshares.
Ricardo in the chat
Shameless
says, as far as like having your book at the table, that you should force them to pre-order on your phone.
Yeah.
Oh
um,
my
Like,
God.
do it. I
I would
want
have
to see this.
I would have to be such a Gryffindor to do that.
I think you're
I think
Slytherin
more
if you do that.
Slytherin. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a pretty bold move.
You'd
But-
have to be a hybrid.
Yeah, you'd have to be a
Slitherclaw.
Slytherin?
No, not Slitherclaw. Slitherdoor.
Or-
Slitherdoor.
Gryffindor. No.
You gotta be bold with those pre-orders. It's not easy to get to that 750. You gotta work some magic.
My husband doesn't seem to understand that. He keeps telling me, he's like, oh, I've already sold like 24 books at work. Like, you're going to beat this goal, don't worry about it. Like, I'm glad somebody's confident.
Yeah.
I was just doing. I was like thinking about like anthologies and things like that, and like, oh, like how many people would you need to get? You know, if you say like, okay, there's 20 people writing this book. There's like 20 authors in it, and then we each have to sell a copy, and then like the number of like copies you needed to still sell was still like 40 per person, and it was like, geez, that's still a huge number, and like, just to like do that as like one person, like anybody who's made it to like the 750 like on their own is like, I feel like they should
A
like
wizard.
they need like a special badge on like Inkshares that's just like, I did it.
I feel like
Like-
Inkshares should like send everyone that hits 750 a T-shirt that says like I survived my Inkshares campaign.
Well, you guys were talking about that with the contest, that you think you should get a t-shirt or a badge.
Yeah.
Survivor
'cause that
badge.
was
Yeah, for sticking through it.
For anybody,
That
for anybody
struggle
that's in a
was
contest.
real.
A survivor swag. Bit of swag.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
a Band-Aid.
Mug. I love mugs. We should have mugs.
all the
That would be
mugs.
nice.
I
A nice
mug.
fancy pencil.
It solemnly swears it's up to no good.
You nerd.
Beautiful.
Yep.
I do think that there would
So,
be value in if you did a contest. 'Cause a lot of people enter a contest. You know, we see a lot of people. Some people stick around. Some people drop out. I think there would be value to get some sort of like graphic or badge or something on your profile if you entered a contest, tried to fund during a contest, whether you won or not.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because
That would be
I
cool.
can't always remember who else was in the Nerdist contest that I was in. I can't
Yeah, it's
remember.
getting to that point now.
And
'cause there's
some
been
people are.
many
Then I'm
contests.
like, oh wait, were you in that contest too? I remember that.
Yeah, I was entered with the space opera one. It was so funny. My one friend sent me a link, like I think a day or two after the space opera contest started, and she was like, "You should enter this." And I was like, "Okay." And so I just threw a campaign together in like a day and a half and was on.
That's
there.
how I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm just like I'm sitting here and I'm just looking back and I'm just like, hey, where am I? Like, what's happening?
I saw the at the end of the hard science contest. I saw people like a few days before it ended, like putting their books into funding, and it was just like, oh, you guys, like,
Oh, honey.
I wish you the best, but like, you know,
Well,
there's only,
you
like,
know that to get into the top 10, you only had to have 35 orders. So
On this contest.
yeah, but if somebody had like a big network of people that they knew would order their book, you could enter and you
Yeah,
could
it's
finish
possible.
How insanely pissed would you have been if you were that person who had fought, like,
Oh,
clawed their way to the top, and then some just punk comes in at the last moment and is like, oh, here's all my friends, and it's like 115 orders or something
Joe
insane.
probably
I wish
has
I had
fun
been that
happened.
punk.
that. Because that happened in the Sword and Laser, the first one.
Oh, did
yeah.
it?
Ageless, Paul's book like came in like the last day and like got into the top 5. I think I think I was in last place. I think I was 5th. So, like, yeah, he passed me, jerk. But you know, it's a contest. That's how it works.
yeah.
Speaking of
The
contests,
jerks go and turn into friends.
Yeah.
do we know
no,
when the
no
next
hard.
one's going to be announced?
The 25th,
Relatively soon, I would imagine.
Oh, the 25th?
Did they announce the topic yet?
I think so. I think it says on, I'll pull up the page. It says in the fine print.
I think they're announcing the winners and the new contest on the same day.
Who is sponsoring the next one?
I think it's Nerdist.
It's
Is it
Nerdist.
another
They're
Nerdist?
trading off back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were the only ones or if they were just rotating them in.
I think it's Nerdist and Geek and Sundry for now.
Yeah.
Alright.
And we have a
If my
bet
internet was
going
faster,
on
I'd have an answer.
about what the genre
We
is.
do.
What
I'm
do you guys?
excited about the bet.
Who's betting what?
I'm betting it will be historical fiction.
Oh,
I'm
that'd be
betting
fun.
that it will be
Or
horror.
fantasy, I mean. Horror for you.
Yeah.
I think we
like high
have
fantasy.
4 or 5 people in our bet.
Tabby Card said she'd be interested,
Yeah, May 25th.
but I
I feel
forgot
like-
to tell her
I
about it.
feel like horror is a safe bet, especially with Nerdist, and Nerdist has a lot of ties to horror-related stuff.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna win.
I feel like that's the way to
I
go.
have a theory that we shall see if I'm proven right or not.
I guess we
Historical
will.
fiction seems like more of a.
Or fantasy, I meant to say.
Or well, historical fantasy seems like more like a.
Oh, if
geek-
it's historical fantasy, that would. I know several books that should enter that.
Should I explain my theory?
Yeah, do it.
Shut up.
Alright, so I don't know if I made this up or if it was said somewhere and then deleted, but in my memory, I remember somebody from the Drinkshares staff saying that each of the contests were gonna like kind of segue into each other in order. So I think we have space opera. So we've got space on the fantasy side of things. Then we've got hard sci-fi, which also has space a lot of the time, or hard science, I mean. And then I think the hard is going to relate to historical, where there's like facts to back it up, but then it's going to swing over to the fantasy side.
Unless it's steampunk.
Well, steampunk could be
Steampunk could be
historical
interesting.
fantasy.
If there's a steampunk contest, I'm entering Intrepid.
Oh, you
Nerdist
totally
wants
should.
a book that will fit their brand and whatever. And the #1 book in their first contest was a horror book. I think they're going to go with
I think
horror.
horror is coming up. I just don't think it's the next one. But that's my theory. It's not for
Solid
everyone.
theory.
We shall see. Does anybody else want in?
Yeah, oh, and then the terms of the bet, whoever the winner is,
Yeah, I
everyone
don't know
else
how betting
has
works,
to
actually.
either buy a copy of their book or send them a random book for free.
Everyone?
I have a bunch of
That's
Everyone
how
that
betting
made a
works?
bet.
written a bunch of
Everyone who loses has to buy a book? Okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't understand how betting works.
Traditionally, you put up something as like collateral, most often money, sometimes property, sometimes a watch, you know, whatever, poker game. And then when you lose, you forfeit said collateral.
Money.
That's traditionally how betting works.
hmm
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
So instead of money, it's books.
Yeah.
You're either buying one or just
I will
sending.
buy books.
send-
I will
gifting
buy and
one.
send somebody else. That'll be easy.
Yeah.
Forward it to them.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a big price to pay. Pretty easy.
Depends on how many people are in it, right?
Well, like each person only has to do it once. Like, there's only one winner.
Oh, right. Got it.
Yeah. So it's not a big deal.
Unless it's like historical horror or something, and then what would we do?
I think it's gonna
I
be
don't know
like.
what we would do.
Nobody wins.
Historical
I want to
horror.
think that it's like high fantasy or something.
We'll find out. If you want to take a bet, let me know.
I'll think about it.
Illicit Drinkshares bets. I know, Gail. Back behind this Alan. Gonna take your book bet.
Yeah, one of those like sketchy trench coats and like a fedora, you know.
I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
So that's happening.
Sorry.
So before we get into the bulk of the topic tonight, we're going to do a little sorting hat game, which Elena is going to, I guess, do like a spur-of-the-moment sorting of the Drinkshares cast.
Ah,
Just something quick. What's your gut instinct on each person?
just quick. Okay.
Unless-
Well, I do feel like you're a bunch of Ravenclaws. I feel like several of you are Ravenclaws.
You say that with disdain.
No,
No,
just
it's
because like several of you, and I think you would all be in the same. I think Joe is a Ravenclaw. You're very Ravenclaw-y.
Yeah, I took that test and it was what was the number? 88%.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even know that.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't remember what yours was. I was just guessing on that one.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I took it like right before the show.
Oh, good times. Well, I had said this before. I do think that Becky exhibits a lot of Slytherin qualities, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Anybody who's like Slytherin is evil, is a person who is dumb, because I know some really, really nice, pleasant, lovely people who are Slytherins. There's actually a really great like GIF of it's like a badger and a snake, and it's like they're cartoons, and like they just walk up to each other, and the snake just like wraps itself around the badger, and they just like walk off like they're besties. And I love it because it perfectly sums up me and all my friends who are Slytherins. We're just like Slytherins get protective of Hufflepuffs, and Hufflepuffs like keep Slytherins in check on like being nice. It's fun.
See, and it's such a good character dynamic too between characters. I love that. I love that dynamic, the friendship.
See,
Yeah,
this is the Slytherin coming out in me, because when I think about that dynamic, I'm like, oh, well, it's just because the Slytherins know that the Hufflepuffs are friendly and love everybody and are super helpful and they can manipulate them. So,
Like, being Slytherin doesn't mean you don't love anyone, or that you're not capable of it.
unless you're Voldemort.
I guess, yeah, unless you're Voldemort.
Unless.
So I guess the lesson is don't be Voldemort. As long as you're not Voldemort, Becky.
Well, I guess I'm just sure. I guess I just scratch that off my bucket list.
No, your
Dream
list of
killer.
options for like future career paths.
Yeah. Well, teaching and writing don't pan out. I was high number 3.
Oh darn.
Start murdering people.
Yeah, Christine, I was on the fence about because you didn't tell me what you identify as, but I was on the fence as to whether or not you were a Gryffindor or a Hufflepuff. Just because you exhibit a lot of Hufflepuff qualities, I think.
I have every test I've taken, I expected the outcome to be Hufflepuff, and it never has been that.
That's funny. Yeah, well, what I do like about the houses, it's kind of like the same with like the Myers-Briggs. Like you can take a test, but it's never going to exactly exemplify what's in your head. Like, please forgive the cold.
You're forgiven.
But my friend and I recently like took quizzes about the Myers-Briggs, and I didn't agree with mine. It was like slightly off. It thought that I was more extroverted than introverted, which, yes, I can be very bubbly and bright and stuff and like that, but I don't think that I'm entirely an extrovert. So, yeah. It's interesting how that happens.
Quizzes, they're always a little weird.
So what, Christine, what are you?
I'm always a Gryffindor. And then on the fancy quiz that I took, I think it was like 73% Gryffindor, and then the next one below that was Ravenclaw. Oh, and then, you know what? I think Hufflepuff was at the very bottom. I think it was Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Hufflepuff.
That's so funny.
You're more Slytherin than...
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's
I don't know. Yeah, and then Kara, I think you're also a Ravenclaw.
I am very much a Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
The quiz that I took, though, told me my number 2 was Slytherin, and I don't think so. But okay.
I would have put your number 2 as Hufflepuff, actually.
Really?
Oh, I wouldn't. I would put her as Gryffindor, number 2.
I could see that too. That's the thing. The houses are so weird.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, is that you can only do so much trying to categorize people into like 4
It's
different
not like
categories.
we can
5 different categories.
prove it
People are just not gonna fit.
scientifically.
They're just not gonna fit. Like, I mean, I would be the rebel, of course, because this is who I am. Who would like, I wouldn't like it no matter which house I was sorted into. I would be like, I'm more than this. You can't define me. I'll sleep wherever I want.
Put me in a box.
I'll camp outside. I'll sleep on a boat on the lake. I'll make my own house.
Just gonna
That's
do a
what
lot of
Brenda-
things.
That's
I
what
will
Brenda
invent
said.
a new one.
She's like, I'm gonna make my own house. This is my. You can't define me,
Brenda can be in my house.
Wait, who said that?
Brenda.
Brenda. Joe's,
Oh.
Joe's wife. Brenda can be in my house with me at Hogwarts. We'll make a
The
new
renegade house.
Well,
We
have you
have to
guys
come
heard
up with a
about
cool name, though.
have you guys heard about Ilvermorny?
What is
one.
it?
About what?
Have you guys heard about Ilvermorny?
Mm.
Ilvermorny is the supposed American wizarding school. Yeah, it's gonna
Have
be.
you seen the Tumblr post that's like takes the Old Spice deodorant flavors?
Oh
and
yeah,
uses
yeah, I've
them
seen that one. Yeah, where it's like
House.
Wolf's Bane, Eagle, you know,
so funny.
something.
Yeah, it's so funny. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's
I gotta
gonna be-
Share that with me.
immediately look that up.
No, but according to somebody hacked into Pottermore to find out the names of the houses. So it's not confirmed by Pottermore. We actually, MuggleNet got an official statement from Pottermore that said, we're neither confirming nor denying this, so we'll let you know soon if it's actually
They don't
true.
want to commit to it.
Yeah, but
Maybe it needs a little work.
the four supposed houses of Ilvermorny are Horned Serpent, Thunderbird, Pugwudgie, which is my favorite, and what was the other one? Wampus was the fourth one.
Wampus.
Wampus and Pugwudgie.
Yeah, see,
I've
they
heard of
took
Pugwudgie.
all mythological characters from like different Native American folklore. And stuff.
That's where some of them are from. Our most recent episode of Speak BC is actually called Sinister Pugwudgies, and it's pretty fun. We took that and ran with it.
Okay,
yeah.
I found him. Here's the Old Spice.
Good, 'cause I can't
Oh
find
yes, oh good. I'm so glad you found it.
Wolfthorn, Hawk Ridge, Foxcrest, and Bear Glove.
Yeah, those are Hogwarts houses.
Those all sound
Which
great.
I think are all amazing. And they all have crests, too, on the deodorant.
Yeah, they have these really sick
They do.
looking.
Why don't we just use...
Old Spice smells pretty nice.
It does.
I
think it
kind of
would
hate their commercials, though.
Improved.
What else?
Which ones?
All of them.
Just all the commercials.
All the
Hate their what?
commercials. Their commercials annoy me.
I don't
Oh,
know. The
they're
I'm on a horse one still is pretty iconic to me.
You're just such a hater. Oh my gosh. Becky's such a hater.
That's your Slytherin side.
But that's none of my business.
Was Old Spice the one that did the mom commercial where they were singing the songs?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was
I
the
don't
only
know.
Old Spice commercial I liked. I thought that was kind of funny.
Where did I put the thing?
All right, so did you guess all of us?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did. You sorted all of us. Good job.
Woohoo! Now we can go to school.
So should we move on to story
Off to buy my robes and quills.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Oh yeah, what?
I don't know what kind of animal I'd buy.
What's up?
Can I have a snake?
Which pet?
Can I have a snake?
Oh, I would totally have a Harry and have a snowy owl. That would happen.
Birds are gross, so I would not want an owl.
Yeah,
What are the
owls,
ones you can have again? A frog?
No, can
an
I have
owl,
a snake?
a cat, or a toad.
Can you have a
Yeah, I
rat?
would have a snake. Sorry, I'm rebelling again.
I have a cat, because I already have cats.
Oh,
I
cats are so cute though.
It's
You're
so
right.
funny.
There.
I loved owls before Harry Potter, and then Harry Potter had owls, and then I went to Temple University where the mascot is owls. So I am
Oh,
just
yeah. I guess
an
I
owl
should
to
say
my
owl.
core.
I'm also Temple Alum.
What? I think it's so cool that we live near each other and went to the same school.
It's really weird and awesome.
Yeah.
The more you know. Alright.
Wish I had a rainbow to just spew across.
It would be nice. Just take your wand.
Maybe. It was a good try.
I don't have any visual effects queued up.
I'm not that advanced yet.
If we could only just do
Working on
/ Giphy in real life.
That would be nice.
I have this cameraman app. Let's see what this does.
No, don't. Let's talk about social storytelling.
Alright, yeah, let's
ruin
let's
everything.
get back to topic.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to break everything. I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah,
You're gonna
please.
break the hangout, Joe.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that.
It would be that time that Joe,
It'd be glorious if it just star wiped or something though.
like if it went out in a.
What if it wiped from person to person?
Oh my god.
That would be amazing.
That would be.
And we could do like a pantomime thing where we like pull into each other's screen.
Yeah, I don't want
delightful.
I don't want to mess with any of the controls right now,
That's-
but I
That's
think
like
I
5
may
years
do-
out. We'll have
I may
those
investigate.
abilities.
Well, we're doing this in a studio because we all live together because our show's so
Because we'll become
Because we all live
Yes.
together. I like
millionaires off of Drinkshares.
we'll just buy one. We'll buy Drinkshares Mansion. We all get a wing.
that.
We could totally like get some Airbnb going with that.
Yes, we could. But we will not be like the people that Kara and I had our room through and cancel with like 4 days notice.
Yeah, they canceled. They canceled on us.
That's frustrating. Speaking of which, I know it's totally non sequitur, but remind me to talk with you about the option that we might have.
We'll talk. Okay, we'll talk.
All
I
right.
just sleep in my van.
So, well, you guys are going to a convention, which
Yes.
is a type of social storytelling. Segue into the topic.
Nice smooth segue.
Very nice.
There are lots of writers at conventions, and that's a social dynamic.
Well, and I'm excited about this because this is the first writing type convention I've ever gone to.
Me too.
I'm par for the course on your random nerd conventions.
Well,
Yeah.
what's the name of the convention you guys are going to?
WizCon.
WizCon.
I can't get over how much I love how clever that is. I don't know why. but
Yeah.
It's just for writing, or
It's for
it's
female
feminist.
science fiction.
Wait,
Feminist.
you're going.
Women
That's what this
in-
convention is.
that's
It's
right.
specifically women in science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Guys,
Yes.
super cool.
guys.
I keep telling you, you should come. Hop on a plane. Hop on a plane.
Although I might be seeing Christine at Philly Comic Con, maybe, possibly.
That'll be
Maybe I have to see
If
what's
that's this
happening
weekend,
with
too.
my bank account.
Well, if not,
no.
I'll like see you outside of it or something, and we'll do a
Yeah.
thing. It'll be
Well,
fun.
we're definitely gonna meet up and get some pho, one way or another.
Some faux. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
There's a restaurant down the way that makes really, really good spicy.
We got one. We got one right down the street. That's awesome. But we're on a diet right now because we're trying to be healthy. So.
Because you're lame.
I want to be healthy. I went to go buy some new clothes for.
Embrace your mortality.
It's good to feel good by.
I want to be
eat
healthy.
good food,
I want
but
to continue to do this show, so I got to
It's
be
good
healthy.
to not die at age 40
That's
from
true.
heart attack.
And I went to the.
Consider.
First of all, H&M is full of garbage.
Why would you go to H&M? Like, oh, I want to
Because-
feel good about myself.
Is that where
I'll
you
go shop at
get your
H&M?
fancy shirt?
It's super
Or
cheap.
your fancy shirt?
No, because my pants that I buy are 32s, and I went there and I tried to put on a 32 pants, and it made me feel like garbage because like they did not even fit. Like they were
Yes,
like
it was
so
too
far
tight.
from even classing, and I
But they,
felt
like,
so bad about
Stop
myself.
at the knee, and you're like, no.
And then I put on a medium shirt, and it was like fat guy in a little coat, and I was just like,
Richard.
it made me feel really bad. And at the same time, it's me and Miro, so Miro's like it's really like dirty in their dressing rooms, and like he's like playing with like dust bunnies, and I'm just like, I'm out of here, I can't deal with this. So I didn't buy any clothes.
So,
By
no,
H&M.
I think H&M is one of those places with it's a teenager type place, right? Like,
Yeah.
So teenagers who are size medium.
Yeah.
are
It's supposed to
they're
be
not grown-ups who
trendy,
are size.
affordable, trendy clothes. I think
Yeah,
is
it's
their whole
affordable.
thing.
That's the thing I'm going for. I don't want to
Go to Old Navy.
spend a lot of money. Old Navy stuff,
Yeah.
like I don't know, the style doesn't always do it for me.
See, I just go to
Yeah.
Goodwill. Like 90% of my clothes come from Goodwill.
Yeah.
We just got a Primark
Guys,
near
we're
me.
not talking about storytelling
And-
anymore.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Storytelling
here's a story. We got so lost in Primark. Scary. Yeah.
Okay, can you guys still hear me? My computer was freezing.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
Okay.
is that why we
Good.
were we stalling for time? Okay, sorry. It called
No, my computer was like doing a thing. I just want to make sure I was good.
Yeah. Your screen's going black here and there, but your voice is around.
Okay, well that's the most important.
It is the most important part.
I just
Every
closed a few
time,
others, so hopefully my face will catch up with it.
every time we go off topic, Kara dies a little inside. You can see her face, like she's like, oh my god, just get back on topic.
show isn't about like where we buy our discount clothes. Well,
The show
our show
We
is
can
about.
be about that when we start talking about it.
Christina's the host. If she wants to be like Christine,
Actually,
like close hour.
We probably should start talking about the topic. Just looked at the clock. So yeah, so there's conventions that you can go to, and you should go to them. Or does anyone has anyone else been to any writing related conventions that they could recommend?
Yeah, or if you want in the chat, if you want to give us advice for what we should do or who we should try to talk to at WisCon, give us advice, because
yeah,
I want to take advantage of this time.
Yeah, you guys should do some serious networking.
Connections. You know,
get out there.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do my guerrilla marketing.
Oh, at the PhillyCon or the Wizard World, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nobody has any advice for you. Just talk to people. I don't know. Be nice. You're very.
I think. Well, if I go, I think I'm gonna get drunk because otherwise, I don't.
Otherwise, you'll be too nervous.
It won't work. Although that won't make a good impression, will it? Sorry.
I might have to pop out of the chat for a second and then pop back.
Okay.
Somebody talk about
computer's
something.
Being very strange.
Oh, we can talk about podcasting, because we're on one.
Yeah, it's quite good. I mean, if we're talking about social things, it doesn't get more social than this.
As everyone flees. Everyone's abandoned.
It's okay. We can float this. We got this.
I thought Kara wasn't going. Where'd she go?
See, Elan and Rick came into the chat, and then everybody else bailed.
They knew. They knew this was gonna happen, and they're like, "We're not sticking around for this." Oh goodness!
Did you guys make Kara rage quit the show?
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
We got so off topic, she melted.
And Elena is a fake Elena. Like her brain is just frozen.
Well, this is officially the best show we've ever done.
It's pretty good.
Woo.
There you go.
Right.
No
So.
more?
No dead air.
That's okay. Brenda's gonna sneak
so,
over
okay,
now.
I'm
Oh yeah, get Brenda in. She'll get us on
Hold
time.
on. I have something. As much as I love Brenda, I think before we get off any more topic, and while we're waiting for people to come back in the show, I think it's a good time to segue into reminding people that Drinkshares is next week. That we are starting May 30th through June 4th. We will be having events throughout the week, like we briefly talked about with Elena. We'll be doing maybe some word sprints. We will be having raffles, trying to encourage people to review, to recommend, to critique, not just drafts, but also people who want their pages looked at, their projects. They want all kinds of different options. So, am I freezing too?
Hi guys, I'm
okay.
so sorry.
My computer's really glitchy tonight too. So yeah, we are going to have a couple of different options for people to get critiques. If you want to reach out to us and let us and the world know that you want to be part of the critique process, hashtag critique me at Drinkshares LC, and then hashtag critique me softly, or is it kindly?
Kindly.
Critique me softly.
Softly.
Okay.
I mean, if you can say either, we'll get it.
Okay, so critique me softly or critique me kindly.
Yeah.
That's for a lighter touch on a critique. If you're just looking for, hey, I have this idea, what do you guys think of it? Or you're not looking for such critical feedback that, the person isn't going through line by line on your project and telling you, fix this, fix this. So let us know which one you want. We're also going to have prizes for both readers.
Lots of prizes.
Lots of prizes. Lots of everybody who has donated stuff. I don't have time to go through the list because there are so many awesome authors and people that have donated time, credits, books.
I'm gonna design a book cover for y'all.
Yes. Like so many people are offering services.
Oh.
So if you guys are an author, you need to be involved in
hi,
this because you're going
Brenda.
to get some seriously cool
Glad you're
services.
here.
So that'll be going on for that next week, and then we're culminating on June 4th. Has Avalon...
Avalon responded. She's confirmed.
Okay, so Avalon is confirmed. I don't know if anyone else will grace us with their presence, but at least Avalon from Inkshares will be hanging out with us on that Saturday to talk.
Ooh. That sounds exciting.
Yeah. And to just to clarify, the draft shares is for projects in the draft mode. So if it's funding,
If you
that's
get
not
confused, you can think, what's the first part of the word in draft shares? Draft. Okay. So your book needs to be a draft.
Well, and if you're thinking about putting your book onto pre-orders, just wait like one more week, because you can only benefit by getting a whole bunch of attention to your book prior to the going to do pre-orders. So just like wait one more week. It's going to benefit you, trust me.
I'm highly
Definitely.
debating putting up a draft of something that I've been brainstorming the last couple of weeks.
Me too.
I don't know if I have the guts to do it though.
I'll do it if you do it.
What do you
Oh.
have to lose?
Because I don't know. For me, I want to be able to give it attention, and I know that like my focus for the next few months is still going to be there the last.
Well,
And so I don't want to like.
That's something that we addressed last week too, is that, most people think, well, if I'm going to put this up, I have to pay attention to it, and you really don't. Like, you can just put it out in the universe and let people gradually respond to it in good or positive, or like negative critiques and stuff like that, and just like let it be out in the ether until you're ready for it, and then who knows, you might have like 25, 50, 100 people who are already interested in this idea when you start to generate actual stuff on it. So you don't have anything to lose.
Well, Christine, I'll take you up on that. If you post your draft, I'll post my draft.
Sweet.
You're on.
Hey.
Sweet. Hey, Brenda.
Hi. Hi, everybody. The
Your hair
show
looks really
sounding
cute
great.
Hi, Brenda.
Thank you.
Somebody
you
asked me
know,
to put it out
you know,
at
Hogwarts House together.
the grocery store.
They did.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said, well, okay. I was confused because I'm open to hanging out with people, but I was looking. But he's always so stupid and dramatic with me. I was looking at like at Whole Foods they had that section of bulk food, but then they had that one section of like serious bulk food where like you get your fresh nutmeg, not like I don't use canned nutmeg. I'm gonna get this small grinded nutmeg like section. So like the only serious food people are
The
go to
foodies.
that section. So Joe went nutmeg, and I was like, well, he's worth it. So I went and got this special nutmeg, even though he asked for it. And this guy's like, would you like to go get some tea? And I was just like,
Tea.
It's only something that would happen at Whole Foods. Like, hey, would you like to pay for some tea later?
it's because that's the special section.
Yeah.
The
So what did you
serious,
say?
he's like, I said no thank you. I wanted to go because, I would have gone, but definitely he like looked me up and down like, hey, you want to get some tea? So if he was like, hey, you want to go chat? Why not? Like, that's awesome.
You want to be
I'm
buddies?
down for that.
But
Yeah, but he
Not
wanted
that kind of buddies?
that type of
You want to be
buddy.
buddies.
Yeah.
hey.
I said tea and chill.
So that's
Tea
good.
and chill. Oh,
and chill.
no.
That's what we're doing right now.
That is. We are
Chilling on the internet.
So that's my story.
good
You
times.
can actually say.
Because
It was a great social story.
You just did some social storytelling there.
Yeah.
Kara, we were
Totally
on
on
the same
topic.
page with that one.
And I tell Joe, I'm like, some guy asked me on Whole Foods. He's like, really? Awesome. And he's like, because you're so pretty.
Aw.
Aw.
That's how you guys have like the healthiest sounding relationship like ever.
It's
Yeah, we
okay.
do good. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, everything takes work. Nothing
We've
is
been
perfect,
together
but
8 years.
We always.
Oh, wow.
I broke up with him when we were dating.
Because I was the bum.
That happens a lot.
And then he took me out to Indian food and we renegotiated. And I was like, and then we got married that year.
Hey.
Oh, wow. Quick recovery.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he knocked me up on our wedding night.
No, I knocked you up on Christmas.
Christmas, yeah, Christmas. Never mind.
Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Did he tell you he was going to knock you up?
Well, that would have ruined the surprise.
That's not exactly something that the guy plans in advance.
Joe's sitting there secretly poking holes in the condom, like, oh, this is gonna get her so good.
No.
She's never gonna see this coming.
No.
What's going about?
And
Trying to trap me. You know how those men work.
She'll
then she found
never
out-
leave now.
and,
You weren't tracked
and then
enough.
she found out she was pregnant at a roller derby match,
Yeah.
which she was
Oh,
in.
man.
And fell down and injured
boy.
herself and had to get taken away in an ambulance.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I was really hoping you were gonna say she fell down and a baby popped out.
No. You're not doing that.
Yeah. She didn't want to, like, she was like,
Oh.
she was a vegetarian at the time, and then all she wanted to do was eat seafood. And I was like, you are pregnant. And she's like, I'm not pregnant, I just want to eat some seafood. And I was like, you need to take a pregnancy test before you play in this bout. And she's like, no, I'm not gonna.
Well, see, I thought it was a month before, and I was, actually. But all the tests were negative, so I didn't want to take another test. Cause I
They're
was like,
expensive.
yeah, they are.
Unless you go to the dollar store, where they actually
Do they
literally
have dollar store tests?
dollar store pregnancy tests.
Oh
That's
my
awesome.
I even
want to
know
get
we're
it
making
just
this up.
now. Even though I'm not pregnant, I want to pay on that.
Should we get back on topic?
No.
I think we actually need to jump to the next topic.
We're talking about our sex. Okay, I'll go
The
because I do
the
this.
show is
What's the show?
it's only an hour and a half
Oh,
long now, so we're running out of time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Why don't we, before we skip to the next topic, why don't we have Elena just very quickly talk about what are all the different methods of social storytelling? Because I don't know if we actually clarified what social storytelling really is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it happens in a lot of different ways. I think one of the biggest things is the fact that, you know, like, you kind of can't really be an author today unless you have some kind of presence on social media and are engaging with people. It's like when I think about, like, the stories that I read when I was growing up, like Harry Potter being the biggest example. J.K. Rowling used to be a very private author, you know? She was kind of, like, very reserved, and you didn't really know a lot about her. She just had her website, which was kind of like, you know, it was very specific to people who were interested in her books, but she didn't really have, like, a larger presence. Whereas now, you know, she's doing all of these other extracurricular things, and she's completely engaged in Twitter.
She's wonderful on Twitter.
Yeah, her Twitter feed is, like, insanity. It's constantly going. But it's funny because, like, you know, some of the older MuggleNet podcasts used to make jokes because she would tweet, like, once a year, and it would say, pen and paper are my priority right now, and that was all she would say for a year, you know? So it's nowadays, like, just because everybody is so plugged in, everybody's on social media,
like, if you're a published author, your publisher expects you to have a presence.
Yeah.
And even going in, like, when you're trying to get published, you're expected to already have a social media presence.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's, like, kind of almost mandatory. But I think what gets interesting is how the type of story that you're trying to tell will end up determining what sort of social media that you're on. So, like, an example, like, people who are writing, like, either self-help books or, like, books about, like, motherhood or things like that, a lot of them may have, like, Facebook groups, and that might be how they engage with people. Whereas if you've got something like Divergent or The 100, you know, you're going to have a really, really active kind of group of people who are following you on something like Tumblr. So it's important for everyone to have a social presence, but it's not necessarily important that every author have every single type of social media, because not all of your listeners or your followers are going to be on every type of media.
That's a really good point. I never put much thought into it. But yeah, because you're going to have a target audience, and you should focus on the platform that they're on.
Yeah, and, like, with working with MuggleNet, you know, we cover completely different types of areas of the fandom on, like, different Facebook pages. You know, we have our Facebook page, we have a Tumblr page, we have a Twitter page. So you have different types of content that are going out on all of those different platforms, and you have to, like, as an author, it's important if you're sensitive to those type of platforms and the type of content people are looking for. Like, you know, on Facebook, things tend to become more like diatribes. They become a lot longer, like posts that people will put. But then people go to Twitter because they're like, yeah, I'm going to get this quick, snappy, witty aspect of this person. So it's different for each one, and I think one of the most important things an author can do is try to recognize that they are different mediums and you're going to use them for different things.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
So what are all the different options that you could be on for social media?
Oh gosh, it
There are a
feels
lot.
it feels
Pop
almost
quiz.
infinite at this
Pop
point.
quiz. What are the social media places you could be on?
Well, the most popular ones, you've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is actually...
It's
Instagram
big.
isn't so much big for, like, getting pre-orders, but it's really popular if you're, like, an aesthetically driven person. Like, something like the Inkshares book, Sloth Love. I don't know if they have an Instagram account, but they should, because I want cute pictures of sloths every day in my Instagram feed. So, you know, that would be, like, a smart move for them if they haven't already done that. You know, then you've got things like Tumblr. Pinterest is something I haven't had much experience with in the past, but I'm actually starting to. Because
Yeah,
it's
I think that's starting to catch on for things like books and other projects that, you know, aren't recipes.
Yeah.
And the
It's
things
cool.
you typically think of.
Because I have I recently launched my website for There the Last, and I had been having this one thing that was like stopping me when I was working on the site, because I was like, I want to have a place where I have like photos of inspirations for what the world looks like, because part of my book takes place on this other planet, and I didn't want to just like take photos that I found and put them on my website and be like, oh look, these are the photos of my world, except they're not. So I was like, I'm just going to make a Pinterest, and I did, and now I have a specific Pinterest board where I will repin something, and it's like an image that looks like something I pictured from my book, but I'll put like a note with it that says like Elena's notes, and I'll tell you what this image has to do with my book. But yet, because it's Pinterest, it'll still link you back to the original source, so I don't have to worry about like stealing anybody's content. Like, I'm telling you where this came from. I'm just telling you why it's relevant to me.
Yeah,
I started a Pinterest board for my book, and then I think Joe started one.
Yeah, I just linked it in the chat.
And I looked at it, and looking at Joe's Pinterest board was the first time that I actually got a sense of what his book was, like what he was trying to
the tone, the vibe.
Yeah, the vibe.
Yeah, and that was
and
my
it
thing.
was like a revelation. I was like, holy cow, authors should be using Pinterest.
Yeah, it's great.
really
I actually
people
use
to
Pinterest
a
lot for world building. I think I made probably about a dozen secret boards when I was world building before I even started writing at all.
And
so
that's the cool
at some
thing.
point I'm going to make them,
for you,
public.
Yeah, I made
you know,
mine all secret. Mine were all secret. I didn't even think about making them public until I made friends.
My ideas from looking at my Pinterest boards.
A little bit of that too, or just people were gonna look at this and be like, "This is so stupid. Like, what the hell is this?"
That too. Yeah.
I didn't make them public until you guys.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Paranoia.
Currently, I've only got ones for like that are just the category of the world, but like I do plan to make like other boards. I would love to at some point have like specific character boards. So like these are actors and actresses that look like the people I picture playing this.
And this is that's really great. They would wear, and this is what their random weapon thing looks like.
Yeah, it's really helpful. But yeah, so there's Pinterest, so Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Tumblr. I found it very hard to market on Tumblr. Just because, because people don't want to be marketed to on Tumblr. That's if you're very immersed in that culture, the majority of Tumblr is getting tired of the sponsored posts that are going up, and so they don't want to feel like they're being told to like something.
Yeah, Tumblr's like big thing is fandoms. So they like
Tumblr is kind of where your people are going to go once you're a thing, but it's not really a place to get found.
Well, it's the thing about Tumblr is that it's a place where I discover a lot of things. I'll follow somebody because they like one TV show, and then they'll post something else, and I'll be like, ooh, I gotta check that show out because this person likes it, and I semi-trust what they like, and so what I need is for somebody on Tumblr who has a big following to find out about my book and to say, hey guys, look at this cool thing I found. But you can't make people do that, and you can't manufacture it. It's just organic.
Well, I'm going to be completely honest and upfront. I totally sent a Tumblr message to Amanda Stenberg who plays Rue in the Hunger Games,
Oh yeah.
when I launched my campaign, because she's the person that I picture in my head as like my main character. So I just was like, I'm gonna be completely unashamed and just send her this link with my book and say, hey, you kind of inspired this character.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Did she respond?
No. If she had responded, I would have exploded. I would have not been here.
Elena, can you recommend certain certain types of social media for certain types of projects or for certain types of genre, maybe? Because I'm thinking, like, Instagram seems more like if you're trying to target a younger audience versus Facebook might be for, like, an older audience. Am I, like...
Yeah, no, that's
that make
perfectly... That makes total sense. And I agree with that. Like, you have to kind of know, that's what I was saying before, like, you have to kind of know who your audience is going to be, and that's important for any author to know, whether you're going to self-publish, whether you're going on Drinkshares, or whether you're working with a marketing, working with a full publishing company. They're going to look into those things if you don't. And there are different kinds. So I think it's difficult to say because each author is different. Like, I know, what's his name? Oh gosh, I always forget. Patrick Rothfuss. He's got like a huge following on like Twitter, and he's just all plugged into a lot of different kinds of media. But then I know like John Green, he makes really big use of things like Snapchat. So
John Green makes use of everything. Like, he's on every platform. I show videos of him for Crash Course to my students. That's how I found out who John Green was before he was an author. Like, when I got my copy, like, and started reading John Green books, and I made the connection that it was the same guy, I was like, oh, this is awesome. This guy's a genius.
It was funny. I had heard about him for a couple of years from a friend of mine. She's like, oh my god, I love this guy John Green. And I was like, But then I ended up stumbling across the Lizzie Bennett Diaries.
Oh, the Lizzie Bennett Diaries.
Yeah, I like them. Those are pretty good.
I love the Lizzie Bennett Diaries.
They're flawless, and then Emma Approved was like the follow-up to that, and that was also really good. But that's written by his brother Hank, and so I actually found out about John Green through Hank, because I was like, what is this person, Hank Green? What else has he done in his life? And then I found Vlogbrothers, and I was like, oh, these guys invest.
I want to be the Green Brothers or Felicia Day. I want that. I want my job to be just I live on the internet.
Don't we all want to be Felicia Day?
They're the dream.
Yeah, if you don't want to be Felicia Day, that's a
right there.
If you don't want to be Felicia Day, there's a legitimate problem with you and your life.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be an actress. I can tell you that right now.
No, I don't actually want to act either, because I want to be able to decide my own projects and make my own stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what they do, and they do it really well. But like, it's weird for John and Hank, because like John already sort of had a bit of a following because he was a published author before he started making YouTube videos. But then, he and Hank started doing those videos, and they kind of just exploded, like, accidentally. Like, I don't think they were intending to become what they ended up. Like, I don't think when they were making Brotherhood 2.0 videos in 2007 that Hank thought he was going to interview the president one day. Like,
well, and how many different, they have mental floss. They have the Crash Course for several different subjects, because there's science subjects and history subjects now.
And
literature. Broken down, and literature. So they're broken down by subcategory, too, because there's world history, American history, there's, like, chemistry, biology. So there's all those subcategories. Then there's something else that Hank does, because I was watching the videos on YouTube.
a lot of gaming videos.
Yeah, and then there's another thing that he does that are just, like, fun facts and things like that.
Are these all on YouTube?
Yeah.
So YouTube would be a
YouTube
place.
is another, so that was actually one I was going to get. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, YouTube is really big, but it kind of depends on your audience. If you've got any kind of like YA audience in mind, or even like, I know Kara, you've expressed your book as new adult. I think they fall into that category too. Like, they want to see the person. You kind of like, there's a different level that gets added when you get to like see a person that you love talking about stuff. Whether that stuff is like, I love watching like Hannah Hart videos because she's like, talking about like, getting drunk and kind of doing what you guys are doing in a way, getting drunk and cooking things instead of talking about books. But, YouTube is a really great channel, I think, for authors to use, but it's not for every author. Like, I don't think that people who are writing much stuff, like, I think YA is really the area where YouTube is going to be your buddy, because they're all on YouTube. Those youths being on YouTube.
And we do have a Drinkshares YouTube. Is it a channel?
Yeah, it's a channel. Well,
Drinkshares Authors Collaborative.
So if you have a promo video, Drinkshares Authors. or if you want to make videos like, I don't know, make your own podcast or something.
Yeah. So
Or
Or a channel. You have a channel
read aloud your book or something.
added in
Yeah,
the future.
and I think that there is a certain level of like professionalism that also kind of that boosts you up when you have like well-made videos, whether it's you're making them yourself or whether you're hiring somebody to help you make them. Like I know like there's certain videos you see on Inkshares where an author will make a video and you can kind of tell like, oh, I don't know if this is the best quality, and sometimes you're able to look past that because they are just like the most delightful person and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to support this person because I like them. But then there's some times where you're just kind of like, okay, this is, I don't really, you can get turned off to and bored by an author sometimes depending on the kind of videos.
Elena, thank you for saying that because you actually just inspired my unsolicited advice for tonight. So I know exactly what I'm going to say now. I'm going to write it down before I forget it.
Okay.
I could talk a lot about videos too. I have opinions on videos.
Well,
We can make that another topic. Author videos.
Yeah, I could host the video.
Speaking of videos,
Yeah.
Elena, do you have a special announcement that you feel comfortable making at least soon,
Oh,
if not like today?
Yeah, I mean, people know because I think I've tweeted about it numerous times, and it's coming, it's on the way. I'm working on a trailer for the book, which is comprised of like video footage that I've acquired, that I've shot with me and my friends because we went to college for film. So yeah, I don't think I ever mentioned that. I went to college for film. So everybody that I know from Kara, what are your faces? They're great.
Kara makes wonderful faces.
I try to do blue steel because Derek said that he's doing a blue steel.
Yeah, it's always good. But
like this.
No, you have to do
Oh, that was pretty good though.
you have to do like the turnaround.
That's your
What do they
own.
call it? They call it smize. The smize, where you smile
like-
with your eyes.
Yeah, I can't.
You have to like go like this. You have to like go back and then.
Oh, here we go.
Send help. Oh no. That was great, Joe. Joe wins.
All right, Tony, if you're out there, we need another gift.
Yeah,
Or
Tony.
GIF, however you want to say it.
Oh my gosh, Tony, get to work. You've got a mission, man.
Kara's gonna die.
Oh my gosh. Now I totally lost my train of thought. Oh no, but so I'm working on a book trailer, and that will be done very soon. We recently shot the last of the footage, so just getting through the final stages of that. But I will have a book trailer for you guys very, very soon. I can't say a date because I don't like promising things I can't deliver on. But
That's
it's
like
soon.
like the when is the book gonna be finished date. If you say it's not gonna happen.
Yep, it's gonna be finished.
We'll be done.
Yeah, Wyatt keeps
Period.
reminding me. He's like, babe, you really got to finish this book. If you're going to sell pre-orders, you really got to get this book done like this summer. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, that would be fantastic. But he's like, you don't want your readers to pre-order this book and have to wait like a year or like 2 years like for this to get done. I was like, they're gonna anyway.
Not 2 years. 2 years is like the
But still, even if I finish this summer,
never past this line mark.
With all of the other books that are in like the pipeline, my book's gonna be on the back burner to that. So like they've got all these other books that are coming out with contests and stuff that they're gonna do way before mine. So that's just a thing.
Yeah, and I think they stagger the release of Drinkshares books too, don't they?
Yeah, because they don't want everything to come out right at the same time.
Yeah, and
It
sometimes
seems like they had like one
they'll
release.
time something depending on if there's a seasonal aspect to it.
Yeah.
I know I was
We're gonna get
initially
my book done.
I was initially really excited that my campaign was going to end on May the 4th because I was like, oh, I have a space opera ending on May the 4th, but now I'm ending on November 1st, which is going to be better.
All right. Okay. So, Helena, you also have a contest. that you
Oh,
have-
yes, I do. I have to do that thing. Okay, hold on one second. Yes, so I was running a contest for someone to name a character in the book, and I have the little snippets of paper all somewhere. Leave it to me to be a fail sauce and not have them right in front of me.
Fail sauce.
No, you're Fasaki, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because they don't have sauce bottles in Slack.
Ah, here they are. Okay, so, yes, I have them. They're a thing. So, I'm actually going to use the sorting hat, which I have at my feet. And my hair's in my face. Sorting hat, come here.
We should all say what social networks we're on while we're waiting.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Hey, that's smart.
Well, does
I'm gonna
everybody
fold up
have
That's
the
a
raffle
3
hits.
beers idea.
Does everybody at least have their Twitter in their lower thirds now? I can't see when
No,
they're
I don't have a
That's a
lower
good
third. I'm
idea,
not
though.
cool enough.
Do that.
I'm not cool enough to have a lower
Put it
We
third.
should put
Uh,
all of our social media links in the YouTube. Like
Oh
YouTube.
yeah, in the description. I recommend doing that. Yeah,
and our
that's always
Inkshares page, which you can also get to our social media from.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Make a note for
Because
that.
I am on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, and I think that's Pinterest. Those are all.
I'm on those things as well.
And all of my links are in my book project page synopsis. They're all there now.
I've
Okay.
never even looked at Snapchat, let alone
Yeah, Snapchat
created an
is
account.
becoming a thing. I can't really, I'll be honest, I can't really speak a lot to it just because it's such a new thing. I mean, not new, like it's been around for like 3 or 4 years now, but like it's becoming a newer thing in terms of like using it as a tool to market. You know, mostly it just started out as like people sending, let's be real, dick pics, and then it became like we're gonna send other kind of pics, and now it's like, oh look at these quirky filters that I can do. So I don't
See,
know.
my experience with Snapchat started out with my teacher friends sending me pictures of them, like on the weekends when they didn't have students around, just being idiots. So it wasn't so much dick pics as much as it was drunk pics.
Yeah, a lot of those.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
So I'm going to pick one out of the sorting hat. So brief thing again about this. So I ran a contest over the weekend leading up to the show to have someone name a character. So whoever the person is that gets picked right now, there were 6 entries. They will not only get a chance to work with me to name a character in the book, but they will also get a signed photo print of the bridge that's on the cover of my book.
I think
the
that's
Benjamin
cool.
Franklin Bridge. But this is not going to be the cover image. This is, I'm going to go to the Ben Franklin Bridge with my fancy camera and take you a really nice, like, custom
Fancy
photo.
picture.
So it will be the
Rating.
yeah, it will be the only version of that photo in existence, and you will have it, and it will be signed. And I will write you a pretty letter, and you will get a bookmark, a really cool bookmark that is from my series. So, speaking out of the sorting hat.
It's like
Haha. Okay, drum roll. James Morey.
Yay!
I'm gonna contact you, and you're gonna get like to name a character in my book.
Who
That's
is
it.
James Morey?
I don't know, James Morey, but you got my book this weekend.
I'm gonna look him up on Inkshares to see if he's an author.
I hope so. I really hope he's an author. That would be really great. But he pre-ordered my book this weekend, along with several other cool people. And special props and shout-outs to Billy O'Keefe, who got 3 copies this weekend, even though he already had a copy.
Billy's great.
Yeah,
He
Billy's
is
pretty
not.
fantastic.
He's not an Inkshares author.
Oh,
He's
no,
just a
no.
fan of yours. He's just
Oh,
a
well,
fan.
that's kind of
Mystery
related.
Which is
buyer.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so yay, James. I don't know if he's not in the chat, is he? Did he watch? I don't know.
No.
I don't think so.
Oh,
We'll
well.
track him down.
Yeah, I'll be emailing him, letting him know he won. So, yeah, that's my thing. So thank you for anyone who pre-ordered, and feel free to keep pre-ordering because it's going to be running until November.
Which means that you have time to buy more copies if you already have for friends and family and just general loved ones for people who want to share this lovely book with.
Or like
Like,
if you're a teacher
and it
and you
exists.
want to
It's
give it
real.
to your teenage students.
I
Like
cannot
the
wait.
library.
I cannot wait
It's
till I
gonna
start
be
getting
yours.
Inkshares books so I can start donating them to my local library.
Or if you want to have book twins, so your book isn't
Book
lonely.
twins. Well, that's cute. I've never heard of that. That's adorable.
Yeah, I
looked
learned
up-
pretty quickly that I'm getting some of these Inkshares books in the mail, and then ba-bam, I have a gift to give someone for like a birthday or Christmas. It's so nice.
That was very wise of you to do.
Yeah, I know. Buy more Inkshares books because you can give them away.
Yeah.
Good.
I was telling my one friend, and they're like, or you could even leave it in like a used bookstore for someone else to find. And I'm like, oh, that's adorable. I'm gonna do that.
Or those little free libraries on people's front
Yeah.
yards. I'm gonna put mine in some of those.
Or in like some tea places and coffee shops.
Just leave them on
Like
tables.
that.
Leave them in all the places.
Leave them around.
When I went to Europe, there was a thing that we did where you read a book on your trip, and if you finished it while you were on your trip, you left it in the last hotel room you stayed at.
Huh.
And so, like, the guy that ran the trip did like a special, like, he read a book that was specifically about Rome, and then like left it in our Rome hotel room before we went to Greece. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right, so I'm gonna steal the floor.
Yeah, go for it.
It's almost time for me to go to bed. Elena inspired my unsolicited advice tonight because with thinking about social storytelling, there's so many other skills you have to have beyond writing if you really want to market yourself and you really want to get into these social media venues. So one of the things that that I would really advocate, in fact, I would tell you to just do it, is be multifaceted in your media artistry. Like, don't just be a writer. Be good at editing Photoshop or video or music.
Be good at something else.
And you know what? I realized I actually left out one thing that's hugely important as a writer: having a blog.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Doesn't matter what your blog is about. It can be related to your book. It can be personal. It can be relating to other things, but it's really important to have a blog.
But especially if you're going to be doing as much self-promotion as we are all going to be having to do, or having to rely on each other to promote our stuff for us, you need to have skills that are going to allow you to put your own digital graphics and design stuff up. So you can design your own bookmarks, you can design your own backgrounds and images, that you can edit your own videos or music. And if you don't, you can trade services with somebody who does. So if you're really good at doing digital images, but you suck at video because you've never done it before, you can say, hey, I'll make your book cover if you help me with my trailer. So not only is it really, really smart if you're going to be marketing your own stuff to have these skills so you can do it on the cheap and you're not paying somebody, ungodly amounts of money. Not that these people aren't talented, and it's not that I haven't outsourced my own stuff, but I've been lucky in finding people that were willing to work with me for a reasonable price because they're also, aspiring at their skill. So make connections with people who have services that you can use, but also have something to trade. You can't really beg someone to do something if you're not going to be doing something for them. So learn another media skill, whether it's video, photo, just stuff with blogging, just something that you can market so you can get people to trade with you. Mm-hmm. So that's my unsolicited advice.
It doesn't seem like people have been trading like beta reading or
that's
that kind of thing. But
recently it's kind of died down, but there has been a lot of that.
I think it could be something that would be really advantageous for a lot of people.
I remember asking someone to beta read for me. I wonder who that was.
Well, but I mean, in terms of a trade, like I'll beta read for you if you do this for me.
No, I had to tease Elena.
We've had that on the Goodreads forum.
Elena feels bad every time she talks to me in person because one of the first things that Elena and I started talking about was proxy because I put out hey, anybody want to be your beta reader? Before I was involved with Drinkshares, before I Twitter stalked Kara, before any of this happened, Elena and I were friends on Inkshares, and she's like, yeah, I'll totally read your stuff, and I think you did read some.
Yeah, I read a bit of it, and then it wasn't good. It was really good.
No.
I
am not in any way seriously upset with you. I just really like teasing you because you feel so bad about it.
Elena's in a campaign. Her head is not on straight.
No, and
but it's so good though. I freaking loved your first chapter, which I read this past week. It was really good.
I'm really excited about. Is it Wednesday that you're gonna do it? Recommends Day.
Yes, Wednesday. Yeah,
for both Christine and I.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and several other authors.
I forgot about that already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, and you guys, I'm going to shamelessly plug Recommends Day. On Wednesdays, use hashtag Recommends Day and just recommend people's books. Because I know one of my biggest struggles when I first came to Inkshares was the fact that I personally am not financially in the best shape because I'm a broke post-college student. And so I felt really bad because people would be like, let's pre-order swap or let's trade and let's buy each other's books. And I want to buy these books, but I don't always have the cash to do it. So I was like, what way can I give back to these authors who I think are really great, but I may not necessarily be able to pre-order just yet? And I think I ended up going on to pre-order the majority of the books that I featured in my first Recommends Day. So yeah, and I just got Christine's book this week. So yeah.
Yay.
Joe, you're next.
Yeah, Joe's my last on my circle of Drinkshares pals who have books. So he's I've tried to do the same thing.
And
you're launching it. So when it does,
Becky's book is coming up next.
I can't believe it. It's like
Yeah.
2 weeks away.
Wait, oh my gosh, it's that close?
Because I just
weeks
saw
away.
you guys say something about Shotstravaganza being our next episode, and it finally just hit me that that's coming. Like, that's a thing that's gonna happen, and I'm gonna have
celebrate your launch. We're doing Shotstravaganza.
Wait, so I don't know what this is, so tell me the.
Yeah, do we want to explain it now or leave people hanging?
I can kind of explain it. Yeah, I can explain it. Because you guys are doing it in my honor, so I'll take that. So Shotstravaganza started 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Like, when did we start the show?
As an idea?
Yeah, this was like one of the first ideas we came up with.
Who knows?
And it was a joke. It was like, we should do an episode for Becky's book launch where we do a shot every time somebody orders a book. And we're like, yeah, we should totally do that. And then it turned into a real idea. And then we were like, no, we can't do a shot every time. What if there's like a whole bunch of book orders? So what we are going to do to celebrate my pre-launch, or my book launch, is that we are going to start off with every person that orders during the show, we will do a shot based on like a series of steps. So
it's
for
a stacking count.
Yes. And I can't remember, are we all going to, we're not going to do it simultaneously, we're going to take turns.
One person will take a shot.
Okay, so for the first purchase, one person will take a shot. And so I'll put myself up there for the first one, considering it's mine, and I'm putting myself out there for that. But then for 2 book orders, and then for three more after that, so it'll be 1, and then when we get to like the 3rd, and then we get to like the 5th, and then like the 7th, right? So basically on the prime numbers.
What are you gonna do if you hit 750 pre-orders in the span of 1 day?
Okay, so this is how it works. The first order.
I won't, but I would willingly suffer alcohol poison. If I
increase.
Well, I can't drink, so you guys are gonna have to spread the shots out amongst yourselves.
Well, that's why we're gonna do the stacking count. So the period of time and pre-orders between a shot being taken is going to increase as we go. So that way we don't die.
Not that we need to argue about this right now, but I think it could be every other order, because otherwise, once you get to 5 orders, then it's another. Then it's at the 10th order, and then it's at the 20th order, and that's not very many shots.
I don't know.
Well, it sounds exciting.
Yeah. We'll debate it behind the scenes.
Yeah, we.
Either way, there's this. I have a feeling that's gonna be the first episode we are all legit, like crazy on.
It'll be worse than episode 0.
Yeah.
And Kara will be the designated Drinkshares.
I'm the designated driver for
on task.
Kara's gonna have to host that episode. Kara has to host that episode because we were going to obliterate it.
Well, okay, I can host that episode. That's fine. I can host that episode.
So, and I think all the people that are drinking have taken the day off. Well, I'm on summer break.
Yeah, I don't know about Joe. I took the day off.
So.
That's
cool. Joe might have to be a designated driver too. So you guys are the designated drinkers. So yeah, we need to not.
So the next
just on the fly.
The next 2 weeks though are going to be crazy busy for the Drinkshares. From like the drinkables are going to be super busy because we've got WizCon next weekend. We've got Draft Fest or Draft Shares right after that, and then Proxy launches June 6th. So
yeah,
you've got prime Drinkshares like attention.
It's like the drink months.
I haven't told you all this, but I gave myself a hard deadline for my manuscript.
Oh, did you?
And I don't know if it's going to happen, but I gave myself a hard deadline.
Is that kind of thing about a hard deadline? Is it has to happen?
But, I mean, if my book is still in pieces, then I'm not going to send it into Inkshares. I'm just going to have to delay it. But June 15th.
I'm focusing on selling my house first, and then I'm going to refocus on my book.
I think I'm going to shoot for the end of the next Camp Nano. I think Proxy needs to be finished by the end of July. So, we'll see.
I don't know what my deadline is for Draft 2, but seeing as I just started the first chapter of it, like the other day.
I just really want to write Intrepid. Like, it's all I ever think about anymore. So, I really want to write that story. So, we need to get Proxy done.
Get it done. All right, well, I think that wraps us up, right? Any last opinions?
the ending boilerplate of if you like what we do, subscribe to our channel, share us, get other people to watch us perform, so we can
Invite
get
a
those.
friend.
Perform.
Invite a friend.
Invite
Yeah.
many friends.
Invite
your
all the friends.
Make
like
it a
what, if
family
you like what
event.
we're doing. You made it to the end of the show, so you must like us somewhat. So, tell Brenda may go out with tea with you. Watch our show.
And if you have any questions about how to be involved in draft shares, either for recommendations or as an author who wants their draft out there, feel free to contact us via social media. If you are an author and you want to direct message us on Inkshares, that's fine. Just find a way to get a hold of us, and we will point you in the right direction and give you the instructions you need to. But we hope to see you on May 30th.
Christine, I think that we have an official Drinkshares email.
We do,
Do we
which I
now?
probably haven't checked in weeks. We've had it since we began, actually.
If nobody
Uh,
checks it, then
I check it
Well,
every once in a
sad.
while, but I've forgotten recently.
I was thinking, I got an idea on it, and we don't have to talk about it.
I don't
now.
think we've told
We'll do
anyone.
it off the thing. I think we used it once.
And Elena is kind of now de facto in charge of our Facebook because she's way better at it than I am. So stuff might actually happen on Facebook too.
Yeah, definitely. Engage with us.
What's the email if they want to shoot us a question?
Should I remember that? I think it's.
Oh no, yeah.
Drinkshares
If you don't have it, it's okay. We can do it next time.
Thanks.
We'll tell you next time what the email
Anyway.
is.
let's file this under anyway.
Yeah. Is that all our important announcements?
I believe so.
All right. So until next time, everyone.
Should we do our
Yeah.
final cheers?
May your
May-
drinks
may all
be
be
shared.
Cheers.
Hmm.